Attention all men, do not introduce us to a vibe that you cannot maintain. Do not pretend to be a better version of yourself than you actually are to trick women into falling in love with you. If you suck, show us you suck. Thank you.
And this is exactly what happens when 40-year-old cougars get rejected by CHADS and can no longer get the CHADS. Okay, they just start to lose it mentally. And some to the point where they will get in their car and grab a bullhorn and start yelling at innocent men on the street for their own poor decisions. And the lack of accountability is getting really out of hand with these modern women these days, not taking any responsibility at all for the decisions that they themselves voluntarily made out of their own free will to date these bad boys and to ignore nice guys. Okay, because all of these women, as I tell you, man, all of these women who are complaining about some guy who is doing them wrong, doing them dirty, every single one of these chicks has an army of nice guys in her friend zone that would treat her with love, respect, admiration, and just give her the world. Does she take them up on that offer? Absolutely not. Nope. Gotta have the Chad, man. I gotta have the Chad, right? I gotta have that Chad. And then, so they end up getting hurt. They end up getting dumped. And instead of just looking in the mirror and asking themselves, what am I doing wrong? How can I stop this? How can I fix this? What can I do to help myself? Instead, they just do what's called blame shifting. Okay, very common tactic of narcissists, which most modern women are. Most modern women are complete narcissists. Right? And this is why we call them the DG. This is why I call them the DG. Right? Because they can't get beyond that base level narcissism to see what they're doing wrong. And then they turn around and, like a typical modern woman, a very cowardly and weak modern woman, they blame men. Right? They just turn around and blame men for something that they themselves voluntarily chose to do. And there's a reason why so many guys are now calling women out, just saying, oh, they're just children in adult bodies. Right? They're not adults, they're just kids in adult bodies. Just kids that can't take responsibility for any bad decision in their lives. And this is the reason, and this is how, really, that they end up staying on the carousel for many, many years. And they never get off, right? And, unfortunately, you'll probably see this chick 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15, even 20 years from now, probably still on TikTok or whatever new platform comes out, complaining about the men she's dating, complaining about the men she's meeting online, complaining about the guys that, are no longer paying attention to her. Right? And she said something very telling in her rant there while she had her bullhorn. I don't know if you caught it, but she was saying, attention men, she said, if you project a vibe about yourself that you can't maintain, or you trick us into falling in love with you, and we fall in love with you, and then you fall out of love, show us you suck. Be honest and show us you suck. And it's like, girl, now you're self-projecting, okay? Because that sounds like something that mostly females do, right? Mostly females will manipulate guys psychologically, right? Men don't do that. The reason why these guys are losing attraction for you is because you're doing something to turn them off. Put very simply, okay? Because as guys, if we see a girl and we're attracted to her initially, all that girl has to do is maintain our attraction, right? All she has to do is maintain our attraction. But if she starts to do things that turn us off, right? Maybe she's just a little too mean sometimes, a little too quarrelsome, not submissive enough, talks back a little too much, a little too disrespectful, right? She becomes, I mean, it gets to the point where she's more trouble than she's worth. We start to lose interest. Okay, that's how that happens. Okay, it's not like we're just sitting there, watching a movie with our girl, and then after the movie's over, we're no longer attracted to her. No, it's things that she does that slowly begin to turn us off. And then we lose interest in her, and then we're on to the next girl. Okay, that is basically how that works. Okay, there's no magic to it. And you know what? Guess what, ladies? Women do the same exact thing to guys. Right? Women might be attracted to us. And through our own bad habits that we might display that project to the girl that we're beta somehow, or we're low value, she begins to lose interest in us. Right? She begins to lose interest in us. We stop doing those things that were alpha. We start losing her respect. She starts to see us as weak. She starts to see us as like a little brother, no longer that man. And then the girl is off to the next guy, right? But instead of getting in our truck and grabbing our bullhorn and yelling out the window and blaming women and just yelling at random women on the street, talking about, hey, all you chicks, you're all hypergamous, you're all 304s, all of you, you're just monkey branchers, Chad chasers. No, we don't do that. Instead, we go to the mirror and we look inside of ourselves. We gain a little bit of insight, a little introspection, and we ask ourselves, what happened here? What did I do wrong? Then you might go online, do a little Google research, see if any other guys have had the same problems. Right? Then you'll probably find content like mine that can help you, that can enlighten you, and that can fix your problem. And so the next time you're with a girl that you really like, you don't make the same mistake twice. History will not repeat itself. That's called being an adult. That is called taking responsibility for your actions. Okay? For your bad decisions. For things about your character that you need to fix. And most guys, at least most guys who are high value, most guys who are alpha, most guys who are strong, mentally, emotionally, they do that, right? They don't turn around and play the blame game. Okay, and that's something I teach in my self-development programs. I always teach you to blame yourself first, because you'll never learn a thing by blaming other people. Sure, you're always going to be able to find fault in somebody else. You're never going to learn a thing from that. I always teach you to blame yourself first. Because there's always something you could have done different, right? Always something you could have done different. Even my ex from 2006, I don't blame her completely for that. I mean, I take a lot of blame for that because I did a lot of things that were beta. I went blue pill for that brief period in time. That brief period, I tried to go blue pill and I was like, ooh, got to start treating women better. Yeah, I bought into that narrative. I bought into the BS of the mainstream media, corporate media. I actually believed in that. I mean, there was none of this, like, none of these coaching videos back then. But I bought into that, and, it ruined the relationship. But instead of just placing all the blame on her, I mean, obviously, I had to take some blame because I'm like, okay, this is what I did wrong. I'm never going to do this again. And now, here I am, several years later, teaching those same lessons to you. And these are lessons that other guys have encountered as well. It's not just me. It's just, I use my, I use my breakup as a prime example because so many guys relate to it. There's a lot of guys like, how come you always talk about that same breakup? Because that was the last one. And so many guys relate to it, right? So many guys find my channel because they went through something very, very similar. But that is called taking responsibility for your actions. That's called being an adult. Okay, if you're with somebody and, they fall in love with you and then over time they fall out of love with you, you can't just blame it on that person and go, oh, dude's just an a-hole. Oh, he's an a-hole. Instead you got to ask yourself, well, what could I have done better? Did I argue with him too much? Did I not appreciate him enough? Did I not value him enough? And it's mostly guys who are willing to take responsibility for mistakes they made in the past. Very few women out there, especially modern women, because they're being brainwashed 24/7. I kid you not. They're being brainwashed 24/7 to believe that they are flawless, perfect creatures that can do no wrong. It's always the man's fault. Always the man, girl. You're a queen. You're a queen. You can do no wrong. And you know what happens to these girls? They listen to that crap. They take that advice, and then they just end up single. They end up staying on the carousel. They never find their forever man. They're never happy. And then they wake up. They're 50 years old, miserable. They're on Tinder or, like one of these online dating apps. And they realize, like, shit, the parade has passed me by. Right? Because they took that narcissistic, bad advice from a lot of the mainstream media out there. Right? A lot of these talking heads that are just pumping up their egos and telling them what they want to hear versus what they need to hear. Okay, I'm never going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm just going to tell you what you need to hear. And you know what? The truth hurts, man. It hurts, but that is the first step to fixing wherever you went wrong. Right? But, when it comes down to it, very few women take accountability for their bad decisions. Instead, they want to blame. I mean, even the haters who hate on my channel, they hate on my content that is mostly based on statistics, facts, and my own personal real-life experiences out there doing game and pickup for the last 3 decades. I'm not pulling these theories out of my ass yet. Instead of looking at the mirror, because all these haters, by the way, they're all in their like 30s, 40s, and 50s, still single, still alone, exactly the girls I talk about on this channel. Exactly the ones I talk about on this channel. And I warn younger women, don't follow in their footsteps. These are the older chicks. Instead of like watching my content and being an adult and looking and going into the mirror later and going, hey, what can I, I made some mistakes in life, but what can I do now to make my life better? And I've had a few of them reach out to me that weren't haters and just honestly wanted to know, like, hey, Matt, I'm now 45 and I came out of a failed divorce and I have 2 kids. Am I doomed? And I just tell them, do the best you can. Okay, do the best you can. Some of them ask me, like, should I do, should I do some eyebrow lifts? Should I, I know this great plastic surgeon. And I'm like, girl, don't do any of that, because you're not going to attract a good guy. You're just going to attract a guy who wants, the Terminator as a girlfriend. You're just going to want a guy, you're just going to end up attracting a guy who watches porn all day, because those are the type of guys that like that kind of stuff. The duck lips, the fake boobs, the butt implants and all that other stuff. That's all you're going to attract. And I'm like, I know you don't want that. You want a good guy, or at least the best guy you can get. And I always tell them, just age gracefully, be happy, treat others with respect, and do the best you can. Right? That's what I tell them. But at least I give them kudos, because they're trying to like ask me, what should I do? I didn't have this information back in the day. Nobody told me this. This is the first time I'm hearing this. And at least they're mature enough to go, hey, what can I do now? There's this like weird light like shining over here. As opposed to the haters who are like so cowardly, so weak. They'll like stalk me on social media and literally send me hate messages, like nasty, like personal attacks, right? Has nothing to do with the content at all. They never, I've never lost a debate to anybody, by the way, like any of these like older females who attack me. Never once lost a debate. Why? Because they never debate me on the actual topic that they're upset about. They just come and personally attack me. Like character attacks, personal attacks. It's always something about my looks, something I'm wearing, the way I talk, the way I did this, the way I held the camera. I mean, it's just like, it's always something to remove responsibility from their own like miserable existence that they're now living and place it on me, right? It's like, what is that doing for you? You're just getting this like narcissistic 2-second dirty high of feeling good about yourself, like, ooh, I got him. But you're still the same miserable, lonely person that you were before you sent me these hate messages. And it was really sad because I must have ended up on some feminist blog, because it was literally like the night before Christmas, I started getting these hate messages, right, on my social media. And most of it, most of those get filtered, by the way. I don't get them. A lot of them think that I'm getting them, but no, I don't get them personally. My team gets them first. They filter all that nonsense out, and they send me the ones that they think are worth seeing, or it's usually a student who wants to sign up for coaching or wants to hire me for something like some personal private boot camp. I'm not seeing that. My staff is seeing that. So my staff, who is based all over the world, right? These poor souls, and like one or two of them are female. They're seeing this and they are so saddened because they're like, it's the day before Christmas, and these girls, well, they're not girls, they're like old women now, like middle-aged women. These middle-aged women who are angry at my content are using Christmas Eve instead of, because they don't have family, friends. Obviously, they don't have a man, right? Because they're so toxic. They're sitting there on Christmas Eve writing me these like hate comments in these paragraph long, like angry messages and threats and all this other stuff, that they're so angry that I'm like telling guys the truth, right? And again, all based on statistics. I'm not pulling inside of there. Always based on statistics whenever I can find them. Most of it's based on statistics. They're sitting here on Christmas Eve hating on me, even up until Christmas and the day after Christmas. These chicks, it's like, dude, where's your family? Don't you have friends? And even if you don't, where's your humanity? It's Christmas. You can't even give it a break. It's Christmas. And you're like spreading shade. You're throwing out like hate, anger, bitterness, resentment on Christmas. And I'm a self-development coach. Beyond just a dating coach, I teach self-development. I teach a lot of psychology, so I know what these girls are thinking, right? They're thinking like, ooh, yeah, I got him. I'm going to send him this hate comment, this personal attack. It's really worthy of like 7th grade, junior high playground insults. I mean, literally, whenever these chicks message me, it's so sad. They'll be like 45, 55 years old, and they will send out these childish, juvenile, middle school insults and really believe that they're like winning. When it's like, dude, you're not fooling me. You're just proving my point. This is your existence, miserable existence, called life, because it's Christmas Eve. And even on Christmas, these chicks were sending me these hate messages. I'm like, really? I didn't hear about this till after Christmas because my staff had told me. They're like, oh, did you get publicized somewhere? Because all of a sudden we got this influx of hate messages on Christmas Eve and Christmas. And I was like, maybe. I had to apologize. I'm like, I'm sorry. I hope it didn't dampen your day. And obviously a few of them are women. They were saddened because they were like, wow, I really do not want to end up like these women. And I'm like, see, told you. Exactly what I talked about. Even one of the girls who works for me, right? Her name's Pratyusha. Hey, Prat. Well, even one of the girls who worked for me, when she first started working for me, she wasn't sure if she wanted to take the job because she saw my content. She was like, I don't know how I feel about this as a woman. But now that she understands it, she agrees with all of it. And then she sees how these women act out when they get angry, not taking any responsibility for their poor decisions, but except blame shifting, and then even turning on me, the random YouTuber, the PUA, and hating on this random guy, random PUA on Christmas, spending their Christmas writing this like diatribe paragraph long hate message. And she was like so saddened by that. She was like, I just wanted to cry. I felt so bad for them. She was like, but I said, that just goes in line with what I teach. These chicks, instead of like using that time to, again, look in the mirror and look at themselves and go, hey, what am I doing wrong here? What can I do to be a better person? What could I do to be liked more, to have friends so I'm not alone on Christmas, or so I could have a man again? Instead of doing that, no, just turn around. They blame shift, they hate, they throw out that anger, that hostility, that bitterness that just keeps them in that negative cycle. Okay, and it keeps them in this negative cycle of toxicity. Why? Because they are toxic. But I'm going to end this coaching video here, guys. As always, drop your comments below. Let me know what you think of tonight's coaching video. Share any comments you'd like to share below. I love to read them. I always love seeing you guys in my comments. It's always entertaining. So drop your comments below. Until next time, this is M from the 33 Secrets signing out here from top of Vegas. As always, guys, make sure to destroy that like button below. Just destroy it for me right now. Also, hit that notification bell right next to it so that you are notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on YouTube. More importantly, guys, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a ton when you actually subscribe to my channel. So please make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. And for all you guys who want to support my work and all of this red pill, gold pill, and platinum pill content that I am teaching you even further, the best way to do that is by jumping into my monthly online coaching program, 7 Months to Mastery, where I am teaching guys just like you how to go out there and approach and close the absolute youngest, hottest, and most beautiful looking women on the planet. I'm talking about 8s, 9s, and 10s, the same exact type of women that myself and all of my coaching students all around the world now are approaching and closing every single week. I kid you not, we're making it happen every single week, no matter what type of craziness is going on in the world, what type of new variant of Moroni is going on in the world, no matter what type of divisiveness is going on in the world, we are still living our lives and continuing to go out there and make things happen and crush it. And I want you to join us. I want you to become one of us. And it's real easy to get signed up. This is the absolute best way to support my work. All you need to do is click that link below in my description box. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. It just takes 2 seconds, so do that now, and I will see you in my next coaching video. I'm out. All right, just want to share this shot with you guys from my hotel room here. As you can see, we've got the Eiffel Tower right behind me, and it is all lit up. There's actually a restaurant inside the Eiffel Tower, as well as a viewing deck all the way up at the top. So if you ever come to Vegas, make sure you check that out. And then we've got the Paris Hotel right over there. Got Planet Hollywood right there. Got the Cosmo right behind the Eiffel Tower, as well as the Bellagio. And the fountains were on earlier, but right now the fountains are not on because it's pretty late out here, and just out here banging out some coaching videos for you guys. So until next time.